All right, we're on day 16. Boy Who Dared. A few days later, Helmut tries again. This time he brings Dewar along as he shows Werner a brochure. Werner grows white around his mouth as he reads over the pamphlet. "No way," he says, shoving the pamphlet back at Helmut. "I'm too busy for this." Helmut eyes Werner closely. Werner looks angry. Has Helmut made a terrible mistake? His hands shake as he folds the leaflet, slips it into his pocket. At that moment, their boss, Heinrich Mons, passes the doorway, pokes his head in. "What's going on in here?" Dewar elbows Werner, a warning to keep quiet. Helmut pretends to be unruffled. "I hoped Werner could help me with a little homework, with something I didn't understand," he tells his boss. Herr Mons stares at Helmut and then Werner. "Get back to work," he says at last. "We don't pay you for socializing." Helmut and Dewar return to their desks. Helmut feels Mons' eyes on him, wishes he would stop staring. Helmut buries himself in his work, but he can't concentrate, not with Herr Mons' eyes boring into his back. February 5, 2:30. The office grows suddenly quiet as two Gestapo agents stride purposely through the front door. "Helmut Hübner," says the taller agent to Helmut. Helmut's mouth turns dry. He licks his lips, nods, and says, "Yes?" "You know why we are here," says the agent. It isn't a question, it's a statement. Helmut glances at Werner, who doesn't look up, only stares at a green file folder on his desk. Herr Mons stands in the doorway, looking gleeful. Helmut understands that look. Herr Mons is a man who has done his duty. "Come with us," says the agent. He nods to Dewar. "You too." Helmut goes for his coat, but the agents yank him back, push him toward the door. He falters, recovers his step. Outside, the boys slide into the backseat of a black Mercedes, are swallowed up inside, flanked by the two Gestapo agents. Okay, flash forward. With each tick of the pocket watch, Helmut's heart pounds harder. Ehrenke glances down at an official-looking paper. He begins to read slowly and clearly, enunciating each word importantly. On the 11th of August, 1942, the court found Helmut Hübner guilty of listening to a foreign radio station and distributing the news heard in conversation with conspiracy to commit high treason and treasonable support of the enemy. Must not breathe, must keep hope swallowed inside, must not let hope fly out of throat. He is sentenced to death and the loss of civil rights during his lifetime. The words begin to shoot around the cell, exploding off the walls, striking Helmut like bullets. Bang! The National Minister of Justice has decreed that there will be no clemency. Bang! Justice will run its course. Bang! The execution of the judgment will take place on 27 October 1942 after 8 p.m. tonight. The floor buckles beneath Helmut and the walls waver. The single light bulb overhead throbs, hurts his eyes, burns his skull. He closes his eyes, squeezes them shut, won't let the tears escape, wills them away. Helmut opens his eyes. The men are still there. The prison guards grip their truncheons, pulsing. "Have you any final requests?" asks Ehrenke. Helmut licks his dry lips. "Yes," he whispers hoarsely. "I would like to write letters to my family." "So be it," says Ehrenke. Their job done, the men turn on their heels and one by one leave the cell, single file, slam, click, the cell door bolts shut. Helmut reaches for the wall behind him, sinks to the floor, clutches his belly, lets out a deep wail. Hope flies from his chest, flutters around the room, beats against the window. 4:30 p.m. Helmut stands in the police interrogation room. Flashback. Waiting. He takes in the padded black leather door, Gleaming wooden desk, green blotter, file folders, straight-backed wooden chairs, the slightly burnt smell of real coffee, 2 white china cups, 2 saucers, 2 silver teaspoons. It all looks so normal, civilized, like a banker's office. He wonders if they will beat him. Wonders if he can hold up. Remembers his promise to Carl and Rudy. No names. Remembers brother Vorbs. You'll admit to anything to stop the pain. Shakes the thought from his head. He will take one step at a time. He will find out what they know and admit nothing. Helmut hears the stamp of feet in the hall. 2 crisp Heil Hitlers. The door swings open. The same 2 agents enter. Wangman and Musner. Helmut has learned and barely acknowledge him. The taller man, Musner, sets his briefcase on the table with a thump, unbuckles it, shuffles several papers into a neat pile on the desk. Helmut's stomach tightens. Flyers. His flyers. Sit, says Wangman. His shorter, more squarely built. Helmut sits. Wangman stands next to Helmut, arms folded. Musner picks up the first leaflet, waves it carelessly as if it were a simple grocery list. This was found in a telephone booth in Lutzburg Stutenhaus at 9 o'clock in the morning. He fans out the others. The rest were found in stairwells and mailboxes at Stutenhaus 205, all brought in by good citizens. Wangman leans in. His breath smells of onions. Do you know why you've been arrested? Do you know why you've been arrested? Helmut looks at him blankly and hopes. You're accused of distributing enemy propaganda. Do you have any idea what this means for you? Distributing enemy propaganda? Helmut corrects him. Allegedly. Wangman's fist smashes into Helmut's face, knocks him to the floor. Black Boot kicks him in the stomach twice. Helmut curls, kneels to his chest, arms shielding his head, gasping for air. You want the government to fall? But who's fallen now? Shrieks Wangman. He kicks Helmut in the ribs again and again. Get up, he says. Now let's see you stand. Helmut wobbles. He reaches for the chair. It hurts to stand straight. He tries to take a deep breath. His ribs burn. You might as well confess, says Musner. Things will go better for you, the way they are going better for your friend Gerhard Duer. He's told us everything. That shocks Helmut, not Duer. It can't be. It's a trap, he tells himself. You don't believe us, says Musner. You think it's a trap? Musner flips open a file, selects a typed sheet, reads from it. One day, it could have been the middle of January, Hubner handed me a typewritten paper and asked me to read it. I read the paper and without saying anything, I hid it and took it home. I could tell at once it was inflammatory writing against Germany. Helmut's ears fill up as though he's underwater. Musner looks at Helmut, and when he speaks, his words sound underwater too. Your friend is a good German who only wants to do his duty. He continues to read from Duer's statement. At home, I locked the paper in a box because I wanted to gather evidence so that at the right time, I could denounce Hubner. The words ring in Helmut's ears. Denounce, denounce, denounce. Musner continues reading. I realized that I was wrong, and I now fall under suspicion for having cooperated with Hubner. This was not the case, however, and I want to clarify that I merely wanted to collect evidence against Hubner. Musner stops, clasps his hands together, rests them on his desk. Have you anything to say? Helmut's heart sinks as he realizes that Duer denounced him in order to save himself. You'll admit to anything to stop the pain. That's what Brother Warbs had said. Why did the Gestapo do, or what did the Gestapo do to Duer? Helmut sees Karl's grinning face, Rudy's worried face. He feels their hands, 3 hands, one on top of another, shaking on their promise. Agreed, no names. I'm ready to confess, says Helmut. I take full responsibility. All right, we're going to stop right there.